the example that I'm going to give here is the show Love Island. And I feel like, well, when you go into Love Island, you're a nobody. You're an absolute nobody. No one will know them from Adam. And they suddenly go into this show, this machine, and just are there for like a summer. And they come out and they've got like millions of followers on all their social media accounts, brand deals waiting for them, and opportunities of just endless things. And now they've got the pressure to keep that up, and now they've just suddenly just been thrown into this whole new world of limelight, and they've got thousands of people judging them. So take Mike from Love Island, for example, or Sophie from Love Island, for example. Unfortunately they've both committed suicide, and that's due to like depression and things like that. And I feel like that definitely has something to do with social media, because Mike had a nickname since he was in Love Island, which was 2 years ago, called Muggy Mike, and I know lots of people still say it, like, oh look, Muggy Mike's on social media, blah blah blah. Like, those kind of things stick, and where they don't really mean so much for the person saying it, it can mean a lot to the person who's receiving it. So yes, I'd say social media can definitely mess with someone's mental health for sure.
I'm actually just in the process of getting a part-time job.
Yeah.
Just because the whole sitting alone with my head down over a laptop was starting to affect my mental health a bit, and I need a reason to get out of the house, basically.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much it. I think it affects some people more than others.
Yeah.
I think it didn't used to, like last year, because I've had such a big change of the kind of content I create, whereas before it used to be very London-based. I used to meet up with other like creators, and we'd do photo shoots, and I'd be seeing people all the time. Because I've now started doing more Photoshop-based creative work, I do a lot of that at home on my own. So I've gone from maybe going into London 2 or 3 times a week to maybe, 2 or 3 times a month. Like, I don't go in as much as I used to. So I think it depends on the kind of content you create and where you are.
Yeah.
Maybe, and also the type of person you are, because I'm usually quite happy being on my own, but it's kind of just got to a bit too high a level now. I have been labelling my posts with ad at the beginning of my captions for a long time now, and I remember when I started doing it, I had friends going, oh, why are you doing that? Like, people aren't going to click on your post if they think it's an ad. But for me, I think that transparency is really important. From a trust point of view with my followers, I want them to know what I'm doing, but also I'm proud of my work that I'm doing with ads. Like, I don't feel the need to hide that. I'm working with brands that I believe in, and I think there's no need, like, why, if you feel ashamed about it, then you're going to hide it, and I don't feel ashamed about it. You've not heard of a brand before they approach you.
Yeah.
And so it's tricky, because sometimes you've agreed to work with somebody before you've tried the product, and I think it's a very tricky balancing act. I think you just kind of have to go with your own moral compass. For me, I don't work, like, I would try the product and say I'd like to try it before I agree to things. And I think it's about authenticity as well. Like, if you try something and you really don't like it, then don't promote it, basically.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a trick. I think it is, you need to believe in what you're promoting, but I don't think you necessarily have to have been using it for years.
Yeah.
To be able to talk about it in a positive way. These days I don't tend to do so much just on the free products, unless it's something spectacular, because there's a lot of work that goes into it. Like, it seems really nice, but actually that, I got one little pot of nail varnish, and I've had to try it, I've had to take photos of it, I've had to edit the photos, I've had to write the post, I've had to edit the post, then I've got to promote it. So it's actually a good solid 3 to 4 hours work.
Yeah.
For a £5 nail polish. Like, even in terms of minimum wage, that does not compute. It's one of those things that I think people see the outcome. It's the same as like watching sport. You watch a tennis match of, like, I don't know, Nadal, and you're like, oh, it's effortless. Like, look, he just knows exactly. Like, I could do that, and then you go and do it, and you go, actually, this is really hard. This isn't hard. Like, it's not difficult. It's mainly time consuming. It's one of those things that you have to spend a lot of time on it to grow, to then reach that point, to get the quality of the content. Like, when I went, part of the reason why I wanted to go full time was it had got to the point that I was like, there's only so much I can do here. I need more time. I need more hours to be working on this stuff. And people see the end product. They don't see the work that goes on behind it. It's not difficult work, but it is, it has got its difficulties. A lot of my stuff is more imagery based. Instagram, social media is all kind of moving in that direction. But for me, the best part has always been the community, because that was kind of what got me really excited about it at the beginning. I was writing for the sake of writing, and then what kept me hooked was that I could meet other people, and all of my closest friends now are people that I've met through blogging, through the internet, and I still do. Like, there's people that I talk to on a regular basis on Instagram who I've never met in real life, but I still talk about them as if they're friends. And then when my mum will be like, oh, how did you meet that person? I go, oh, I haven't. I don't actually know them. They're my friend, but I've never met them. It's fine. So that's always been the big thing for me. And also being able to do the crazy creative stuff that I just want to do, and being paid for it is still something that I can't believe. Every now and then I'm like, I can't believe this is my job. This is ridiculous. I'm like stood with my leg in the air pretending to, I don't know, be Arya Stark or something. It's a bit weird.